My name is Matt Entz. I'm a professional snowmobiler from South Fork, Colorado. Husband and father of two incredible young girls. This is my testimony. I'd say that my first experiences with God go back to was fairly young, maybe not quite teenager or so. Had an aunt and uncle that were very involved with church, and they always prayed, things like that. Really thankful that as a kid they would take me to church with them, and always really enjoyed that. Fun activities, getting to learn about God. Things at home weren't always the best. I grew up with a dad that really struggled with addiction. Alcohol pretty much ruled his life. When he wasn't drinking, he was awesome person. When he was drinking, it was something completely different. So did grow up with that. Got two younger brothers, and it was interesting, I guess, growing up. What we saw and experienced. I learned so much from my dad. Hard work ethic, things like that. He always made sure to provide for his family. And that was important. We got a lot from that. But there were a lot of times that weren't very fun. So having that relationship with my aunt and uncle where they had me involved with church and understanding God and having a relationship, that helped me through a lot of times as I was growing up as a kid, because I had something to look forward to, and something that gave me hope and got me through some pretty tough times. And as I got a little bit older, kind of went the ways of a teenager, and went off to college and lived my own life, and in a way I probably kind of left God behind. I was there to have fun, and that's what I did. Met a lot of friends, and we had fun. Tried not to raise too much trouble. From there, when I just didn't really last that long in school, because I was more worried about hanging out with friends and having a drink and things like that. So school definitely wasn't a priority. Didn't really have any priorities other than having fun. So then ended up going to work, and kind of continued that work ethic that I got from my dad, but continued with wanting to have fun, be with friends. And I'd say I was a pretty selfish person at those times. Everything was about just having fun and about that. I had some good jobs along the way. I grew up in a farming family, farming community, and that's what I did for a long time. I got to work for some really good people and make a little bit more money, and it was really about me. I got to live out some things that I never got to do as a kid. We always got by. We always had food on the table, and we had clothes, but there were a lot of things that I didn't get to experience when I was younger. So once I was making some money, then I did some things like race motocross and got really involved with snowmobiling. But those are things that I enjoyed from when I was a kid. It kind of goes back to stuff that came from my dad. And gosh, I'd say, thinking probably about 12 and a half years ago or so now, ended up losing my dad. Really, alcohol pretty much took him from us. And at that same time, I had some mistakes that I had made as well. And I'd say that probably was kind of a low point for me. But there were these things that I enjoyed, and that kind of pulled me through. And I'd say that's really probably a time that I started turning back to God more, and kind of searching and wondering, like, what am I supposed to be doing? Who am I supposed to be? Felt like maybe there was more for me than what I was doing. And that's really, it's crazy how things happen. But within a few months after that, started dating a gal that now is my wife, Jessie, and she comes from a completely different family than me. They're always hugging and saying I love you and things like that. That's not the family that I grew up with, but really welcome that. It was really neat to see, and what's more important, their family really is focused and centered around God, and seeing that from their family was really good for me, a great example for me, something for me to follow and something for me to seek as well. So Jesse and I getting together, it's a major turning point in my life where I started making more of a choice to seek God and follow God and reaching out, talk to God. I've always been a believer and would pray, probably not as much as I needed to, but Jessie and I together, she encouraged me with stuff that I was passionate about. One of those being snowmobiling, and long story short, with each other, we kind of pushed on each other and followed each other and taught each other to chase our dreams and have faith. Taking the leap in faith is kind of where I'm getting to with that. Decided to take a chance on starting a snowmobiling business. Had some decent success with writing for some different companies and some films and magazine features and things like that over the years. But she could see that passion and love and drive that I had for riding snowmobiles, and really told me it was okay to have that and to go for it. And so I did, and ended up leaving the job that I had had for quite a while, where things were comfortable, was making good money, but to kind of pursue a dream, she pushed me to take that leap of faith, believe in ourselves, ask God, and He'll provide for us, and that there's no limit to what we can actually do or accomplish. The people that God brings into our life through snowmobiling, just it's so neat, and I sometimes have to sit back and take it all in, because we're extremely busy and we get caught up in the moment, and sometimes we don't necessarily understand or appreciate everything that we really have. But when we do take it in, it's crazy. There's a lot of struggles, and we just feel so incredibly lucky having that faith in God that we're able to take chances, take risk on things the way that we're doing things our way. We're not conforming to what the world says that we're supposed to do. We're following our hearts and our dreams, and that is in everything we do, from our business to our marriage and with our kids. And it's something that without that leadership from God and that trust in God, it is a scary world out there. But we feel like we really get to teach them to be their own person, and that we are making our own way. All these things that we take a chance on all go back, they all have the same theme. It's putting our trust in God and asking Him what we're supposed to be doing, and to help us and lead us through it. My name is Entz. I'm a professional snowmobiler. This is my testimony.